Hello, I'm Jamie Vargas and this is my custom rig. I chose one of the Dominance War characters we were provided with to do my rigging. In this rig there's a triple foot IK setup which lets you move foot up and down, lets you lift the toes. You can also point the toes if you want, go on tiptoes. This lets you just lift the foot up and also point the toes, and this, not that, this lets you lift the heel up and down. There's also this control applied with it that lets you lift the knee up and down. This sort of gives you all the setups you need. I don't think you particularly need blend bones in the legs with this setup. I think you can do pretty much everything that you'd want to be able to do. You can also swivel the knee as well if you so wish. In the arms there is a blend bone setup with FK, which lets you rotate that elbow up and down. You can also lift the arm if you wish. This is the IK that is set up, which will let you move your arm and wave if you want to. In the hand there's a custom attributes set up which let you move each finger individually. For instance, the right index finger, the middle finger, the wedding ring finger, the pinky, and the thumb moves a little bit. We also have a tail with this character where we've set up IK spline solver, which lets you move the tail around, rotate it, you can move this around however you wish, which is quite nice, gives you a lot of freedom to move it around. We also have spring controls set up in the breasts that just give them a little bit of the wobble, which they're also set up in the wings to help try and make them seem more realistic, and also in the bowstrings when you ping it back and let go of it, it'll give it a bit of a wobble as well. The controls have been set up in positions where they're sort of easy to control, and we've sort of given them a little bit of difference to make them stand out from each other. Like this is cutaway in a sort of Pac-Man sort of style thing that basically sort of highlights where the shoulder area is. There's also this for the wings that will let you move them up and down. You can also move them backwards and forwards. There's the head, which can let you move it side to side or however you wish, really. With the layers are set up into attribute holder, bones, character you can hide, the controllers if you wish, FK and IK, and helpers as well. The wing is set up from a sort of tutorial I was following, but I couldn't quite follow it all the way to the end because I lost track of what he was actually doing. Wasn't that good, but I managed to set up a better wing rig compared to the one that I did in the first hand-in. This this lets you move it up and down, and there's a spline AK solver which sort of gives the shape of the wing. There's then bones which are constrained with look-at constraints, which basically mean that the bone will always be pointing towards them, which I think works quite well, gives the wing this nice sort of flap to it. The helpers are then attached to these lines, which sort of keep them in shape, in the right place, and sort of stop them from deforming, which I think again works quite sort of nicely. The bones are also coloured like this, so to represent certain things like, I'll just hide the helpers. Red being the right hand side, blue being the left hand side, green being the tail, yellow the spine, and purple the head. I'll show you the skin setup that I have done. Hide the bones and the controllers. I'll show you. There you go. As you can see, there's a spring in the breast area which gives them a nice little wobble. Also in the wings, which sort of give them this sort of flap of like there's some force behind them. There's also a spring and also stretchy bones in the string, which give it a sort of realistic bow approach and give it a nice little wobble. So the tail as well, that I've done a quick little animation for, I think shows it off quite nicely. I've just lifted the side just so you can see the skinning, which sort of works quite well. There's a little bit of stretching, but I think you can sort of get away with that. I don't think it's that tremendously bad or anything. For the back, I mean, it's sort of the same thing, but I think it works quite well. Tilting the head back as well. Also in the wing problems I had was that the problem with this bone was that it was rotating, and it just was caused the skin to sort of twist and mess up, which I couldn't seem to be able to fix, but I managed to get it working okay on this side. Wait, I'm not really sure why it wouldn't let me do this. I could have perhaps improved it further as well by making the wings move a bit more, well, I suppose bird-like, with more of a sort of flapping sort of motion, like more realistic. I could have also been improved by putting a spline IK into the spine, which would let you give it more freedom of movement around the spine area, letting you do more poses and things like that. Also in the bow, I couldn't seem to manage to get the bow to bend with the force of the strings being pulled back, which would make it seem a bit more realistic as well. I wasn't really sure how I'd be able to go about setting that up. I ended up not being able to, but I gave it a go. It could also have been improved by locking the controllers in place, because when the skin is on, the knee joint almost disappears, and it would be quite difficult to grab a hold of it. I could have also set up an attribute holder which lets you select the difference between blending bones, so that you could get more control over that, turning it on and off, or having it in between if you like, which would again give you more control options.